All right, hello and welcome everyone. We're going to start this live stream, and I'm more prepared than usual today for this stream. I guess if you look at my other streams, my first few moments are me looking for a hair tie. I'm getting used to having my hair a bit longer, and part of that requires me to have supplies for my hair, which totally makes sense. But if you spent 28 years, 30 years, 30 something years of your life with long or short hair, you start to not have habits. You gotta rebuild some habits. So that's what I'm doing. But let me open some of my supplies. I keep my paint supplies closed for the most part, so to keep the smells in. And right now it's like near the peak of summer, so things are really hot outside. I have to keep the air conditioning on, blowing pretty high. And I had a shower thought. If you don't know what a shower thought is, a shower thought is basically those random thoughts that you might have in the shower that make you contemplate your life while you're sitting in the shower. And sometimes it might sound like a bigger question or a bigger thought than it really is, and then sometimes they just kind of get you to reevaluate your entire existence. So I wouldn't call this anything that's making me reevaluate my entire existence, but you only have one life left. I only have one life left. So depending on what you believe, of course, as far as the overall life philosophy or whatever your religious theological. Alexa, what does theological mean?
The word theological is an adjective that describes something that is related to the study of divinity or the beliefs and practices of religion.
Oh, okay. Alexa, off. So depending on your philosophical beliefs, your theology, your I guess religion, depending on those, you may have more lives, but in general, we at least come to accept that within our current physical body, this has one life left. So I find that really fascinating. And question is, I'm not gonna go into detail about how we should live it, but I will ask the question: what do you think? If you know that you have one life left, I guess this context also is unique to the idea of anyone who has ever played a video game or something, and you have lives in video games. And most people live many lives in video games, in fact, infinite lives in video games. But in real life, we only have one. And it's up to every single one of us to make the most of it. So, here I am deciding that I'm going to spend it painting and live streaming. Or at least part of it, right? Although I say we only have one life left, that life consists of many, many days. So, here we go. Let's go ahead and start painting. Pop open my art supplies right here. So, I have my paint. As soon as I open this up, woo-wee! All right. The scent of oil paints, and I can't air out the room because it's summer and I got the air conditioning on. It's way too hot. Actually, I might be able to air it out just a little bit. Actually, you know what? Let's make use of this. I'm gonna make use of my cover to air out the room with just a tad bit, just so it's not all up in my space. Spread it around the room instead of just leaving it right in front of my face. I'm gonna move this back a little bit so you get a more of a wide view of everything that's happening right here. There we go. That might be a little better, right? A perfect view of my living room there. Let's see how I can make it so that there we go. I think that's a good angle. So those of y'all on TikTok, hello, welcome. We got Courtney Thompson, Coda Ramirez, Armando Galvez, 14, user 91170. What's going on? All right, so let's go ahead and get started here. I'm trying to think of the right brush to use for this. So I'm going to be using, this is one of a long round brush. What's up, Sarigama Music Vlog? Hello, welcome. What's up, Sarigama? Welcome. What's going on with you? So we're going to go in here and work on some of these areas that need to work on. We're going to start with this figure right here. And what we're going to do, at least in this space, is we got to find a way to, blend in some of this darker area here. And I do need to get some of my deep green. It's very nice, Sarigama. Thank you, yes. Grab some of this deep green. And mixing in like a blue. And we're just gonna go, let's see, let's basically speckle some of this in. I might even use a different brush. Because this brush I know is gonna lay down like a super thick amount of paint. I'm not quite sure I necessarily want to do that. Let's see. How do we want to approach this right here? And you know what? We'll use this to go around. Yeah. And here we go. So the creature, what's going on, creature? Where am I from? I am from many places. I've lived in at least 4 different cities growing up. I'm running away from the law. Just kidding. The creature, you were in another live not too long ago. Do you mean another one of my lives, or do you mean someone else's live? YouTube wants to see my upper body. What's going on, everybody? So those of you on my TikTok, I live stream on YouTube too, so I don't really I don't really chat on TikTok, to be honest. So if you want to join my stream, I thank you, but I don't have the opportunity to chat as much because my YouTube family is usually my priority. So those on YouTube, just know I like y'all very much. Marianne Sorensen, thank you. You were another live not too long ago. My live, yes, the creature. It's hard to remember some of these names now. I know that. So I can't honestly remember exactly. Like, I feel like the creature, if you want to be a remembered creature, you have to come up with like a nice unique name, something that stands out. And although the creature I think does stand out in its own way, I think it's not like unique enough. So honestly I don't remember if we had a conversation, creature, as far as what we might have talked about or what stream you were in. But there are definitely some people who, come in here and give a that I can remember, like Marion Sorensen. One of my friends' parents was named Marion when I was growing up, so that's actually kind of easy to remember. It's a name with a significant meaning. And I have a friend now that's named Marianne. So honestly, that's like a kind of a name that's just a common thing in my life. See, I'm painting side profiles of faces. What did I see used as an inspiration? Also, what kind of name do you think I should use? What kind of name do I... You know what? I can't really tell you what name I think you should use, but I will say I'm just sharing my opinion of the creature. It seems like the creature sounds like a name that any like an internet troll would use. And I'm not, calling you an internet troll, but it just sounds like a name that, like, I don't know, that someone would make up, unless your YouTube channel, unless you actually have a YouTube channel that's like a very specific concept, like, you do like horror movie ideas. So like when you use a name like the creature, I'll be honest, let's talk, I'll be honest with you, what happens in my head is I'm like, oh, the creature. They'll probably be here, they go through a lot of streams, and then they're probably never going to come back. So, I might chat with you, but I'm not like, oh, I need to remember this name. Whereas, some people kind of come in, and they have some, they come up with some unique verbiage. So, Marianne, yes. Yeah, but if you do want help, I can help you come up with a name. I'm actually pretty good with surprisingly pretty good with names. With coming up with names and ideas like that. So anyway, I mean, more importantly than what I think you should come up with, it's what words, what ideas make you what are some subjects that make you want your name to be about? It could be gaming, it could be cartoons, it could be anything, So here we go. We've worked on some of these shadows. Let's go into here. I'm going to bring some more light into this ear here. And bring some more light into the ear. And, oh yeah, so to answer your question, you did ask a question. I'll get back to you. Just give me one moment. I want to paint in this section right here. You did ask a question, and that question I shall respond to. So here's a question. Since you're looking for help on making names, I'm happy to let's all help the creature brainstorm. So here's the first question: is your name relevant? Is your name going to be relevant to a YouTube channel? Do you need Do you need it for a YouTube channel? That's the question. Like, are you making streams based on your name? And again, names can change. They change all the time. The hard part is finding one that's not already taken. That's the real challenge for anyone. Finding a stream idea that's not already taken. Okay, here we go. So let me see right here. So not really, you don't have a wide YouTube channel. I don't know if you should. That's many choices on what to become. Yes, that's true. With one life, I think that's really good. That's relevant to this live stream theme. Is with one life to live, there are so many wonderful choices you can make. There's so many ways you could go. And it is up to you to decide what you're going to do with it. Isn't that great? So ultimately, you know, a YouTube name isn't going to like make or break you, but if you want people to remember who you are in the future, I think it's helpful to come up with something different. But yeah, so if you don't know whether you're going to use a YouTube channel, I mean, I'm always of the belief that if you even think that there's a possibility, then it's probably worthwhile to start to try to make a claim for your channels and everything. And here we go. We're gonna give a shadow right here. And you know, just hypothetically, since you're not sure, that means that you could possibly want a YouTube channel in the future. What is it? What are some subjects that you like that you would potentially make a YouTube channel about? And here we go. What I'm working on is basically fine-tuning some of the areas here. And here we go. So let's see. You used to have a Gacha Life channel a really long time ago, but you quit because of lack of motivation. All the hate got to you. You would maybe make a YouTube channel about horror games you play. You love playing horror games, and the painting has truly come together. Thanks so much. Wow, okay, so I mean, if you want to be a gamer, that's like it's great that you were able to get the name The Creature. I don't know if that's like you were able to secure that as youtube.com/The Creature. If you could, keep it, because that's actually worth a lot of money. But if you didn't actually get the domain itself, like youtube.com/@The Creature, then and someone else has it, then I would totally try to think of something else. But if you want to do horror games, I mean, that's where names really come in handy. You really got to get creative with names when it comes to being a gamer, and that's actually pretty hard. I've actually spent time trying to think of names for gamings, and although I can come up with some, it's always taken on one platform or the other. Like, I might be able to find it on Twitch or YouTube, but you can't find it easily on, like, it's already taken on Instagram or something like that. So, trying to think what else here needs this level of green. Love playing horror games. Yes, but yeah, horror games. I mean, yeah. When it comes to live streaming names, I mean, think of some words that are clever, that you feel are clever as far as horror goes. Like, I don't know, Resident Evil player or whatever you feel. Or if you want to be a professional gamer, you got to come up with like a high energy name, right? There's like high energy names, like Epic, or which is probably taken, or like Epic, or if you want to come up with something clever, like PewDiePie, or you got to kind of play with words there. You got to really experiment with wordplay. So here we go. I have to fix that nose a little later, but right now I at least want to fill in a lot of these areas that. What's up, King Master Lord? Devil May Cry 4 was originally to be Resident Evil 4? What do you mean by that? Do you have any favorite YouTube channels about painting? So YouTube channels about painting. I don't really have any favorite YouTube channels about painting, but I will say like, because when I think of favorite, I always think of like, ooh, I'll always go to this channel every single day just to watch it. But some artists that I'll like, follow on like social media or even YouTube. I started off watching a lot of the Paint Coach on YouTube. I think there's a couple people that call themselves the Painting Coach, but this guy is the one where he has like a bunch of portraits in the background, so he paints a lot of portraits. So I started off watching a lot of his videos. And David Cho, I don't know if anyone knows who David Cho is, DavidChoe, but David Cho has been making some really interesting videos on his Instagram. And his Instagram's really, I think David Cho is really good to learn from if you want to become an artist that's out of the box. Of course, David Cho has all the money he could ever need to be an artist. So he doesn't worry about he doesn't have to worry about, getting commissions and things like that, which some people do. So this comes up here and this is going to come up. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out this area right here and why it looks a little off. Yeah, Jazza. Oh, there you go. Jazza's a good name. Do I have any favorite YouTube channels about painting? So David Cho, I like to watch his videos. He's becoming like more informational. He talks more about. I think David Cho doesn't really teach painting, but he does teach creativity and really allowing yourself to be free of creative limitations that can be placed onto you by I don't want to call it society. That sounds kind of cheesy, but these self-created limitations. So I think David Cho is good for that. And at some point I need to update this head, but okay, I think we're be chill on this. This needs to come down at an angle here. All right, I'll get famous one day. Don't forget ya. Yes. Well, yes. I will remember as many wonderful people that come into this room as my mind will allow. So I need to improve the shadows. You know what my problem right now is that I'm starting to make assumptions about how things look rather than actually painting what I'm seeing. So I do have a reference in front of me, and one of the things about using references is you have to, like, if what you're seeing is what you want to paint, you have to trust yourself to paint what you're seeing. And what I mean by that is it could be easy to start painting and you think like a nose or something has to look a certain way, particularly if you know you're using a reference or something. But if you think a nose has to look a certain way, you're going to paint it that way by natural habit. Even though there's like a reference in front of you, there's something in front of you that's saying, hey, this is what you're looking at, this is what you're looking at. It can be easy to get into your natural habit and want to paint something a certain way, even though that's not what you're seeing. And that's what I mean by trusting your own process there. But Master Lord, what's going on? How have you been? And I will keep going over and over these things until I reach a point that I'm like, okay, this is good. But right now, I'm dealing with some issues with the shadows in this painting. So, here we go. working on softening up some of the shadow around the face here, so it's not as harsh. How do I feel about the painting so far? So for this painting, I really like, my favorite part is how I've been able to bring these colors together. So I took, so the top part of this painting and the bottom part, like the actual background itself, is heavily inspired by Rothko. And I need some more white, but yeah, it's heavily inspired by Rothko as far as the color combination goes. And I really like how I've had the opportunity to explore that. And as far as the heads go, I'm still working on them. You know, you can tell, you know, there's still work to be done because I'm still working on it, right? So there we go. I keep working on these heads until I am happy with it, and then I go ahead and take a brush and I go over it all again in a unique way. Maybe not so unique, but unique to me. What we're going to do is we're going to carve that out in a little bit, but for now. Sometimes I wonder, looks like a lot of paintings in old Russian novels. Wow, hey Ijme, thank you for chiming in on that, because I actually don't know what paintings in old Russian novels would look like. So this is, now I have to go look that up. But yeah, there are definitely some parts here that I feel need some extra attention, and I will continue to work in those until I get to a point that I feel it is ready to be painted over with all sorts of other things. Old Russian novels. So here we go. Working on our nose to just get it just the right shade. And let's go work on the smaller head version of this. I was gonna get white, totally forgot. So, here we go. Good old Utrecht white. Blanco de Utrecht. Oh, I like how they named their own white. Doesn't even say whether it's, oh yeah, it is titanium. It's part titanium, part zinc. They mix a little bit of both. Very cool. It's very juicy. You're drawing a bunch of eyes with a pen, not very impressive, but it's calming. How do I feel about the painting? Yeah, hey, that's awesome. Glad that, you know, someone's here to draw along. But you know what? One eye turns into another eye, turns into another eye, turns into another eye, and eventually, you know, you've got an entire career just based on painting eyes. And that could be a thing, you know? One sketch leads to another sketch, leads to another sketch, and then you've got a masterpiece at some point. And here we go. I find this guy's shadow a bit harsher than all the other ones, so I don't really like that. So we're going to go ahead and yes, there we go. Go straight down. And there we go. Give a nice little highlight on the lip right here. Highlight on the chin. Alright, go into this. You know, it's funny, anybody want to hear an insecurity right now? Self-doubt? So, you know, I'll share this because part of what I like to do is I like to help people appreciate the idea that, by the way, as soon as I said that, I went to 0 viewers. So I don't know if anybody's still here that wants to hear that. So I don't know. But anyways, so I'll just go ahead and say it. So part of what I like to do when I paint is help people overcome their own self-doubts. And in doing so, part of what I do during my live shows, I go ahead and like share mine. And here's a funny thing. So I have this thing that I'm coming to a personal problem with. As much as I love this painting, as much as I love it and how it's coming along, and you know, I think it's in some good places, and it has, you know, element of my own style in there. I watch a lot of videos on like Instagram, YouTube, and I see a lot of those things. And in my head, I'm going, why can't I lay down the perfect, exact brush stroke with the exact perfect color on this painting exactly where I want it? Because you know, you kind of see some great artists on YouTube, and they basically like have everything marked out exactly where they want a specific shade of color and color that they want. And I find that fascinating because that's not how, but here's the thing, is that's not how I paint. You know, I don't like to you know, sketch the whole thing out and then paint it in the same way that most traditional artists will. So I do a lot more discovery of how things appear, if that makes sense to anybody. I do a lot more, spend more time on a painting because of the fact that not every single color is pre-planned out in the same way some really successful artists do it. So that's not really an insecurity, it's more of a self-doubt that I have, like, why can't I do that? And, you know, part of me realizes like, oh yeah, it's obvious because that's not how I've decided to choose to paint. So just a fun little fact there, sharing some of my personal thoughts there. You won't hear that from an artist usually. All right. So this top of the head's bothering me. At some point I need to go back in with these shadows and establish them a bit better. But let's go for the top of this head right here. And let's go like this. I'm working on softening this area of shadow right here. And I'm doing that by going over it with this brush here. And actually, some of this shadow this light area needs to kind of come into the chin here. There's just tiny hint of light in here. So here we go. What I'm doing now is I think I'm just gonna start doing my own thing now rather than trying to continue painting this exactly the way it looks. Okay, so let's add a little bit of light here. Let's adjust this ear here. So this ear, I'm going to fix this ear here, go down, round it out a bit, push it up to the edge there. And I'm gonna go bring this down. And here we go. I think what I also need to do is ear just a hint smaller. And let's come down into here. And let's go into here. Do a little backstroking to kind of push it back. Okay. And let's see, so this is going to come forward a bit more, and then come down. Come down, like that. Let's paint the smaller one. Let's get into the smaller one now. Pretty similar idea, just going into these, our highlights, our highlighted space. And honestly, I feel like this one doesn't need as much work as the last one. So just want to kind of tighten this up. Give this illusion that it has been carved out of something. A block. Let's see, I do need some of this chin color to be tightened up a little bit. And then to round this space out. Let's see what it looks like from a distance. There we go. All right. I do want to establish this ear a little bit better. So this earlobe, here. And paint a little area right here. Let's carve out this hair a little bit better. So this hair needs to have a little bit of a better shape. We're going to use the same highlight in this space just to match these colors here. And let's go up here. And I will have to go into these eyes later and, you know, work the... I still need to rework some of these shadows. But so far, so good. Let me get a nice tight... nice tight angle here. And this area especially, we gotta work. This head. Here we go. So I learned this what I'm doing right now from Lo Chang Pang. Not him directly, but I like to watch his videos. And I'm just sharing right now how more. Oh, what's up, Divine Gypsy? Divine Gypsy, what's going on? My bad. It's interactive because I don't know if you're still here, but I call this an interactive artist. More so on YouTube because more people talk on YouTube, but interactive because I am interactive. I interact with y'all, and sometimes, like here, you could see a name of somebody who visited my channel, and I decided. Then they stuck around, chatted for a little bit, so I decided to include them in a painting. And then every once in a while, at the beginning of a painting, not necessarily when I'm near the end of one. It's not letting me verify my live stream. Report a problem. Image error. Can't complete verification. What do I do? Well, my TikTok live just kicked me off. So but yeah, chatty. Dude, Master Lord King, you are really quite chatty. Oh yeah, so earlier I was saying, I got distracted, but I was saying how some of this brushwork is inspired by Lo Chang Pang. He's a really great Chinese artist. You can find him on Instagram. I don't know if he has a YouTube channel, but I love Instagram for the fact that I don't necessarily always want to watch like long tutorials. That's not what my stream is about, by the way. But I do like to watch like little movements, these subtle movements that an artist might do. Just a nice subtle little like gesture that kind of establishes how they do things. And that's where I probably learn the most at this point. It's not so much from like full on tutorials, but more so from like, this is how this one artist captures a specific effect. And that's the stuff I kind of watch now, rather than full-on like painting tutorials. And what I took away from this guy named Lo Chang Pang, he's a really amazing. I want to say he's Chinese. Lo Chang Pang sounds like a Chinese name. But what I took away from him was how to was subtlety. Subtlety in how to use the brush to create like a really soft effects. And I picked that up just from watching him like do brush work. And I might not, obviously I'm not a Lo Chang Pang expert, but I've only watched a few of his videos. But it is really interesting to see how he does what he does with just these very small brush strokes, these very small gestural strokes that are incredibly fine-tuned. Incredibly fine brush strokes that help to create zones of color and light. And although I'm not that gentle of an artist, I do find it helpful to see and observe other artists. And I think what's interesting is that it's not about like laying down this huge chunk of paint just in the right spots for Lo Chang. You could definitely tell there's much more of a subtlety to his work. While I don't necessarily think I'd ever really take do everything, copy his work, as far as master studies goes, I do find myself enjoying the process of like finding how he captures the more subtle details, and that's where I find social media very helpful. Here we go. I really want to soften this edge. Just to create a subtle shadow, And here we go. You had a comic villain named Lo Dao, and he figures dirty, low down and dirty. Chinese low, sure, but Dao, stretching it for the pun. Low down. Dao means that could actually work for a fight. I don't know if I'm sure you know this, but Dao means knife in Chinese. So if he's a fighter with the knife, that actually might come off as clever. Low down. So here we go, and we're moving along. Let's keep pushing this, and here we go. Let me see if there are any edges that I can kind of just carve. Alright, let's see. A sharp edge right there. Need to bring the beard up quite a bit, and it just kind of disappears. But maybe I should go back to one of these faces and use this subtle detail that I did. versus low down versus just in time. Dude, sounds like you got a great idea of brewing. There's some great character names. I like them. Let's see. Let's give this hair a bit more shape here. Round this area out. Let's going to round out shape around the cheek. And there we go. So I'm using this to carve out the face a little better on our figure here. A little rounder. Let's see. All right, nice low dow just in time coming. Yes, I look forward to seeing that, man. All right. This part of the head. Part of the girl's head. Gotta work on that. So this part of this girl's head. Just need to cut off exactly. Boom. Just carve that off. And then this part's bothering me because it seems a little too big. There we go. A little bit of a subtle shading type of brushwork helped to solve that. You know what? Let me do something with this collar here. Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 4:56 p.m.
4:56 p.m. Okay. I just came to this realization that there's some artists that I should stop watching because not only do I not, I mean, they're really good, but not only do I not want to paint from like them, I mean, you know, I wouldn't be opposed to painting like them, but I feel like just that their methodology is so far different from me that I should stop following them. Because what happens is it definitely creates like this conflict in my head of what my expectations should be when they don't really need to be there. So what was it? What else I was gonna do? Oh yeah, I'm gonna do this guy's collar here. Let's paint this guy's collar. So gotta totally change up the strategy now. And we're gonna need some subtle blues. Some subtle blues and purples. So we're gonna take this purple that we pretty much made the other day. It's kind of dry. Let's go here. So this is gonna come down a bit. And then go in here. So carving out, continuing to carve this out, and what we're doing is really just putting in the shadow. Start to give this a sense of depth. And then sense of depth. Going around like so. And what's up, Shaz Bear? How's it going, Shaz? So I might like to work a tattoo artist. You know, Jason Mathis. He does other media. Jason Mathis. All right, I might look him up. Might have to remind me, but yeah. If I can remember Jason Mathis by the end of this stream, I will probably look him up. A bit more of this color here. Okay, so drew in some of the initial details of what we're gonna have in this neck collar. And now let's go to this other piece. And actually, let me step. I'm gonna try to keep it at the same angle here. Let's go across the top of the neck. Just to create an extra bit of dimension. And that's the top of the neck. And we've got these two little pieces that come up here. Right below the ear. And this is going to come down like so. So Shaz, what's going on with you? How you doing, Shaz? I'm in like some more detailed phases of this painting, so I've totally been getting distracted here. And let's go down this way. All right, and these are pretty much placeholders for our work. As we will build this up a little bit more in a little bit later. Let's go ahead and let's see. I actually like this hair where it's at. It's got like subtle look of a hair. You know what, while we're at this, let's create a light version of this hair. So I don't want to like do too much as far as hair goes. I just want enough to kind of give it the texture, to be true to some of the texture. So right around the ear. Let's go like this. Yes, that's the other thing I need to do is clean up some of this hair space right here. So yeah. And here we go. What am I doing? I'm using the wrong reference. So here, the hair right there, hair like that. Hair like that. Let's go to the smaller one. We're gonna do the same thing. And we're gonna aim to tighten up some of the hair here. Get the right shade here. That's what we gotta do. So there. And here we go. It's going like this. So we're gonna throw this hair, give this hair some design here, some more design. And here we go. One thing I'm working on right now is just adding these textures to the hair in this area. Let's see. Okay, this needs to be lighter. Let's clean off this brush and we'll move on to the next section. Crazy Jat. Oh, Crazy Jat. Thanks for the follow, Crazy Jat. So as you can see from my work, usually, I start really big. I mean, pretty much every artist, every well-known artist does it this way. It's not something that's unique to me, but most artists that paint or do some type of artwork will start big. Just get the major shapes, the big pieces, get that all together, and then at some point they will get tighter and tighter and tighter as the work goes on, and then they'll get the super fine small details at some point. And by super small fine details, it might be anything from a highlight on an eye to just the way they like to work. When I say the way they like to work, I mean the way they like to add their brush strokes or whatever. Oh no! Just realized I was touching the top of my painting. So here we go. I got this hair. Tighten up the ear there. Not that ear. So I'm aiming for quite a few hours of streaming today. I don't know exactly how many hours, but we're gonna really push this painting. Now, personally, for this piece right now, I'm working on hair, getting some of the subtler details that I might have not necessarily missed, but including some of the subtler details now. And here we go. So something that needs to happen. Let me see. I think the previous one is this guy, right? Yeah, the guy with the black. Guy with the black hair. So person with the black hair, someone said something that was interesting to me, that this actually looks like Dante Alighieri. And I gotta go look at my hair real quick. I'm kind of curious at how light reflects on my hair. Actually, I can just look at the camera. What am I saying? So how does... black's an interesting color because it kind of just reflects. It just has these reflections of like white. So maybe that's what we'll do. We'll just go with like a white, little subtle white reflections. I gotta mix my own gray here. Actually, I have gray. I bought this huge tube of gray. I haven't used it once. But, you know, prior to using this gray, I needed it so often that I wish I had it, and I was just constantly using black. Now that I have it, I'm like not even using it. So good old Payne's gray. Actually, this gray is probably too dark. It's basically, this gray ends up being like a very, almost like an alternative to black. If you don't want to use like a nice dark black or something. Payne's gray is basically that. Which means, what does that mean? I need to tighten it up. Which means I need to tighten it up. Add some white. Add a lot of white. I do want it to be quite dark anyway, so we're just gonna mix this white into here. It's almost like a blue. I didn't even need to make this other blue. That's basically a blue. Or a very light shade of blue. Mix in some of our black to darken this a bit. Okay, now let's play this. Let's play with this. I don't know how this is gonna look. I wish I could say that I knew exactly what I was doing at this very moment and that everything's gonna turn out exactly as I plan, but that's not the case. And let's see, so this, the goal right with this piece right now is just to lighten and to create differentiation of color here. I want to create a differentiation. Oh, look at all that. Paint. We are working, people. We're painting. Alright, so we're going to go here. Originally I was saying I'm probably just going to leave this black, but I think I'm not. I'm going to go with gray. It's not even actually hair. Someone told me that they believe this is like a scarf, like a Dante Alighieri scarf. I don't know if anybody knows who Dante is. And honestly, I haven't even looked it up, but I think this is some sort of like headwear, like a classical headwear, rather than a scarf. Or rather than hair, which, you know, I didn't think of at first. I thought this was just a guy with funny hair. But after they told me that, it kind of makes sense. In the context of these pieces, it actually makes sense that this would be some type of headwear. You know what? I think this has added some dimension. We have done a successful job of adding dimension to our head here. Okay, so let's go for the other head. Be pretty much the same hair. Just gotta paint it up. This one, we're gonna. And here we go. So let's go ahead and bring this down a bit. I didn't really do the shaping that I needed to on this head the same way that I did the other ones. So this one needs a bit of work here. Alright, we got that. Smooth out some of the paint here. Actually, I might be able to use this color for our guy over here. For our guy. Let's see. Just to get some of the darker hairs, just to create some separation here. Let me start with this one since this is the one that's on the page. Just a little bit of separation here. You know what? The paint's still wet there. I probably have to wait. Hey, Marianne, what's going on? What's up? Welcome back. I'm gonna let the paint dry a little bit there because it's gonna be. I feel like at this point, if I try to start to paint into that area, when the paint's wet, I don't have as much. Wet paint can be difficult to work on top of. So what I do is I usually let it dry, give it some time for hair to dry and stuff. And let's see, maybe we could throw some of this color here. You know, we can add some highlight here. we go. Time to clean off this brush. I really like this brush, by the way. I've gotten a lot of good use out of this one. So this is a, what I use right now is a Princeton Velvet Touch. So Princeton brush, Velvet Touch. You get these at Michael's, which is awesome. But this brush is great because I can use it for so many different things. It's quite a versatile brush. I guess most round brushes are. But it's got like, what's great is it has this really thin tip that I can use for things that require a thin tip, but at the same time I can cover large areas as well. And here's the funny thing, like some of my small brushes with thin tips on them are wider that get so messy and frayed that, you know, you might as well just get one of these brushes, because look at these brushes. This one's so frayed that, you know, I can't really do much with it except for certain effect. Like, you know, this is a special effects brush at this point. And, you know, it's definitely wider than this tip. This one was a mini brush, super good for fine detail, but you can only use them once or twice, but it's pretty much just as pointed. But, you know, when I actually get paint onto this brush, and I can roll it around a bit, I can get the effects that I want. So, some thoughts there. Now, oh yeah, I wanted to do something with this collar. Let's work on this collar here. Let's do something with the collar. So the collar needs to have a really dark red area. So we're gonna go with, look at all this paint that gets used up, or like gets wasted. And there's so many areas of paint. Like what happens is like I'll think that I'm gonna paint, so I use a lot of paint. I throw in a lot of paint, and then I don't paint for a couple days, and it gets dried. But I would say I'm pretty good with making the best use of my paints. So here we go. What we're gonna do is we want to mess with this red here, and with the red, I need like a dark red. I don't want to just use black again. I guess I could use black. I don't want to use black. All right, I'm gonna mix my black with my red here. Let's use a palette knife for this. So I'm gonna grab this red, lay it down right in the black here. We're just gonna create a really dark red. Get some of this maroon color here, or burnt sienna. And let's go like this. So go right up here. It's going to go right underneath. Actually, working on this guy, not that guy. Maybe I'll do the outline later. But for now, we're going to darken some of this area. This is how we're going to create, you know, this like a 3D effect, is just simple, separating the super dark area from the light area, and that's all there is to it, really. You just got to know where to do it. And obviously, there's different techniques. You know, some artists, if you watch them, they'll basically lay down the exact color in the exact spot, and they know exactly, you know, what they're gonna lay down, and you know, they had everything planned out right from the get-go, and that's one way to do it. And then, you know, for me, I like to start to just paint and get into it. So this is turning out a bit darker than I really want it to be, but that's okay, because what I can just do afterwards is to just it's just to paint over, and there we go. So what's good is at least the color, the light, where the light is coming from actually matches on these two separate ones. So that makes it much easier. And here we go. So that's nice and dark. And then now what we want to do is just fill this in. And that's already having an effect. You have to go. Hey, take care, Marianne. Thanks for jumping in. Good to see a familiar name, as always. And and let's see, we've got this. I'm gonna make sure that we don't be too shy with our paint, and just make sure that we lay it all down right here, because there's nowhere else to put it. I mean, I guess there's always somewhere else. I could probably put it in here. Add a little design into this, right? Let's do that. Let me see. And this creates an interesting effect afterward. All right, I think I could use a little bit more of this, right? Yeah, there's still more paint there. Okay, clean this brush off. You know, I could probably leave this neck leave the collar and the neck pretty much just the same where it's at right now. If I decide to later on, you know, if I don't want to get too nitty gritty with the details, but I might. You never know. So here we go. Continuing on, let's do this. I need to work on both of their hair. And I'm trying to think of the best way to approach that right now. So let's do this. The challenge with her hair, these two figures here, is that their hair is very a lot of shadows. So I think that's what I should start with here. I need to start with some dark shadows. And I think it makes sense to actually continue on with this red meets black. So we're gonna do this. Okay, so we're gonna get into the nitty-gritty of this hair here. So the hair needs to have a separation here. So we're gonna go, should be right above her ear. Actually, it shouldn't even be that dark. Let's lighten this up a little bit. We're gonna grab, I'm gonna go where's my palette knife? What did I do with it? Let's see. Oh, here we go. Found it. Okay, so what I gotta do right now is I gotta take some white and I gotta lighten this color because I'm noticing it and it's just not what I was thinking. So not what I was thinking. I need to use this white. Gonna lighten it. Bring in some of our red. Add in some of our red. Now's the time for some yellow. So here's the paint that I'm using right now. This is Azo Yellow Light by Van Hoff. Van Hoff. I think that's how you pronounce his name. But it's by Royal Talens, made in the Netherlands. And I found an amazing deal on these. It was $16 a pack, which I don't even remember. I think there's 9 different colors in it. But $16 a pack is an amazing deal. I think it was like half price because these were all in the. I got a great deal on. Let's just say that. Amazing deal for these small tubes of paints, and they're pretty good. I have to say, they're really good as far as giving a couple unique, just the right colors that you need. Not all cheap paint. Not all paint that you get for cheap. I don't want to say cheap paint, but not all paint that you get for cheap is is gonna be good. But these sure were. Alright, so I got this color, and that's what we're going to do. So we're going to go right here. We're going to start to shape out her hair. And all I'm doing is just adding shadows. So dark areas that need to be dark. That's it. Like, that is all we're doing here. Totally achievable. Totally achievable here. I'm actually so I hope you're all doing wonderfully, and as we go into some of the finer details, particularly on the hair. And here we go. So I think this is enough to create the separation. So what I need to do now, I need to get my armrest. So I use a big metal ruler as an armrest. Should have been using this from the beginning, but I use this big metal ruler to rest my arm. I also have to lock this piece, because what will happen is if I don't lock it, my ruler will slide from side to side, and it'll create an effect. So I use this big ruler, and that's how I do it. Secrets have been revealed. They say a magician never shares his secrets, but fortunately I'm not a magician, so I share all my secrets. And this needs to be right around here. And here we go. Some nice subtle hair to start to add dimension, add like thickness to this hair. I feel like this needs to be just a little bit darker up at the front here. Yes, it needs to be a bit darker. I'm going to create some shadows that come around. Actually, even a bit more. More darkness. And here we go. So we're gonna go like this. And we're gonna come straight across. I'm gonna create the shape of your And here's the hard part is like I messed up on the ear and I still haven't fully decided how I want the ear to look. Oh, I see where the heck I went wrong. This ear is too low. So it's not that it's too high, it's too low. Which is a good thing because that means I can just basically go into it and start maneuvering around it. So we're going to establish this part as the top of the ear. And yeah, we're going to do that. So here we go. Using this color to create a separation between the light and the dark area of the hair here. Excuse me, and it still looks a little funky right now, but as we continue to build this, it will start to look and make more sense. And now let's do this top head. Pretty much same thing. Just take this dark shade that we have, and the top one's going to need a lot of work because same thing with the ear. You have to work that ear. Let's see, the ear is going to start right here. I have to at least make it fit the specific area that it needs to go. So actually, I'm gonna not totally do this top part right away because I need to get this ear established a little better before I can start to because it's all gonna come down to, you know, proportion and where things are located. It's going to come down a lot to proportion, of course, as always, but if I get the proportion right and kind of like form the ear more specifically, I think it's totally going to change the way that this hair appears. So I don't want to do too much work in this space. Well, you know, it probably wouldn't hurt. I could probably just start to place some holders, some placeholders for this hair. And you know what? We can actually use the same shade for this guy. For our guy right here. I think this guy's pretty solid. So as far as what we got to do with this guy's hair, not too difficult. Let's keep bringing this brush in. So these lines are actually pretty thick. But that's okay because at some point we're just going to go in and fix these lines anyways. we go. So pretty simple so far. And again, this continues to give us room to actually work later. Honestly, I feel like this even needs to be much darker. I think as I work the shadows on this side, it needs to be much tighter. Almost to the point that you can't tell the difference between the nose and the other parts. Oh, no. Alright. Not bad. Thought I black slipped. Color out this green that was left here. There's a very distinct nose. I don't know if I'm gonna fix that nose, but I might leave it. I like the character of a very of a nose that's lumped exaggeratedly. I kind of like that character. So I don't know if I'm gonna leave it yet. I might, paint over it later. But for now, and all this shadow is really doing, like, this is just the classical, like, way of creating shadows, of creating drama. More than even shadows, right? I think the important thing to think about as far as art goes is not that it, helps to create dimension, but more so the drama that is created when you have this contrast between these dark and light areas. There's a level of dramatic effect that happens when you separate light and dark in this way. Again, what we're going to do later is go back into this. And carve out the parts a little better. What I could do now is I can actually use the shadow that I got, the shade, and basically go into this and start to create the shape better. Pretty much got this really, hey, what's up, Hawaii, Sohail So Hayil, what's going on? So his stash looks pretty funky right now because it's got like these really round edges, which is kind of funny. But eventually what we will do is we will go straight into these and we will shape them. We will start to shape the shape of these, the funny mustache. But every grandpa needs a funny mustache, right? I don't know if this guy's an actual grandpa, but he's modeled after somebody. It's crazy to think that some artist back in the day made this painting, or this guy sculpted all these people out of marble somewhere, and then some artist decided to draw them, and now we're painting them. Pretty amazing how far things have come. It's turning out to be great. Thank you. Yeah, what do you think about it, Elias? What are some of the parts that you're actually enjoying? You know what we can do is, I have so much paint left over. I don't like to like just let paint sit. So let's bring in some of this into here. I'm gonna bring some of this into the collar here. He looks like Kratos from God of War. Oh yeah, this guy does look like Kratos. I wouldn't be surprised if Kratos was what inspired this figure. I would not be surprised. And what I'm seeing right now is that I need to modify these edges a little bit. I guess a lot of the shapes of this are really coming together. Yeah, so you like this because it looks like Kratos? Yes, I guess it does look like Kratos. Let's call him Kratos. A portrait of Kratos, God of War. You know what? Alright. Part of me wants to just take this brush and just like go all around and do all sorts of designs and stuff. But then part of me is like, I like the background as it is. Shall we go nuts? Or not even nuts, just why can't I just leave things nice and pretty? Why do I have to have this mind that wants to do all these things? What do I want to do? I want to just like I just want to like mark up this whole thing. It is a masterpiece, but I think marking it up. So part of my art philosophy is not to be too precious. Not to be too precious about anything that I paint. Which is why I actually even had these interesting red marks in here in the first place. But I'm wondering if yeah, we're okay. I think as far as the background is concerned, I don't need to make anything, add anything extra. But let's go tighten up this nose here. Oh yeah, I need to tighten up this area. So we're gonna go. Why is this paint not coming off? Add a little green to the background. Yeah, I guess green would be a pretty good color, huh? There we go. Is that getting the effects that I want? Almost. Almost there. Huh. All right, I think what I can also do is I can actually use some of this color to paint in some of the other green spaces, just to add a little bit of extra dark. Just to add a little bit extra drama. I like that word. I've been using that word a lot. Drama. You know what? I can probably use this on some of the neck areas of this guy too. So this guy has this thing that he's wearing around his neck, and I think what needs to happen is I need to add some of the shadow. So this is going to go up here like so. But hey, Sahil, thank you for saying that nothing needs to be changed. That means that it is absolutely wonderful, right? And then right here, always look at the right reference. So we're gonna go up. And around. A little green to the background, yes. That is a possibility. A little green to the background because there's not enough green already. Just kidding. Plenty of green. All right. The ears are still pretty funky, and I still think I gotta soften this guy's face. I've got quite a lot of this dark color already. But actually clean off this brush. I need to get more of these brushes. I love them. They are awesome. This velvet touch. I got a little pack of these. And this is the only brush that I still use. There's like 6 other brushes in there. And it kind of annoys me because if I do go to buy a brush, I have to buy like a pack of 6 of them, of ones that I barely even use. If only I could just buy them individually. But what I got to do right now is I want to soften this guy's face. Soften the transition here. And what I gotta do basically is take some of this white, but not too much of it, or this like light color. And slowly but surely go into this and just kind of mesh it in here. Should blend it down. Use up some of it first on the face, and then get just enough so that I can there we go. That's a little better, gives more structure to his overall look. And get this little lip area right here. I could probably use some of this here too as well. here's what I gotta do. Let's go take like a super dark green here. We're gonna take our green, mix it in the center here, grab some of our dark blue, grab some of our black, gray, our black here. Grab a bit of white. Let's see, yeah, grab some white. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to go into the face and tighten up some of these structures around the face here. So this area. Let's use our big brush. We're going to go a little bit deeper. So rounding out the face a bit. And what we're going to do here, rounding out the lip. go. So right down here we need some shadows. Nice dark shadow. I don't know why this didn't make sense to me earlier, but this totally makes sense now that this is just like some object that he's wearing, not his actual hair. For whatever reason that didn't make sense, but you could kind of like see it if you look closely and realize that it's just shadows. Now let's see how we can tighten this up a bit. And here we go. There we go. So it's also an interesting painting challenge because I'm painting from a drawing. And drawings will look different than actual physical bodies themselves. Therefore, there's a certain effect that happens. That I gotta remember not to try to spend too much time going for. You know what, we can do the same thing for this figure here. Same thing that we just did, we'll go into the nose. I definitely often need to come back and forth between what I'm working on and what I'm seeing so that I can make sure that I'm staying consistent. And all right, so I'm actually going to take a break now. I think give it this another day. We'll probably get to where we want to be. I'm already where I want to be, but you know, there's always more that can be done or improved upon. Oh yeah, I could actually get into these eyes a little bit. How about the eyes? They need to be a little bit darker. There we go, you could just barely see it. It's just what we're looking for. And same thing with up here. Let me turn the page here. Turn the page. Same thing up here. Just barely want to be able to see these eyes here. And it makes it dramatic. Drama. Everything's dramatic. If it's not dramatic, it's not art. Just kidding. Art can be anything, right? And then we got to get right down into the neck here. Let's formulate our neck. Oh yeah, this is something that needs to be done here. Something that must be done. creating some extra layers of dimension onto these paintings. Extra layers of dimension, and we got to do that with this neck down here. Actually, this neck already kind of does it. Let me just darken it a bit. And with that, we're going to take a break on this piece, but hey, how about we start a new one? Let's start a new piece, shall we, everybody? I'm in a painting mood today. Oompa Udta. Hold on one second. Let me come check out who's visiting my YouTube live. What wonderful guest do I have today? Hello, artist. Urta Pargrahi. Hajwejneni. What's going on? What's up with you? Let's start a new painting, actually. You know, I used to like having... I liked when I did smaller paintings only because I could, like, put this painting on top. But nowadays, I have to totally take it off and leave it somewhere that put it somewhere. But you know, when you're limited on space, it could be a challenge. Fern, what are you looking at? What's up? I'm talking to my cat. So let's go. Where do I want to put this? Where can I put this for now? Just for safe storage for now. Actually, let's grab another canvas here. So right now I'm popping open some paint supplies right now. We use a full canvas for this one. I think it's almost time to feed the cats. I think what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna start this one. Knock out a little bit of a design here. And we're going to take a break. Probably finish up for the day. Move this right here. Alrighty. Just leave this here. Gotta move this somewhere. Okay, starting our new painting here. Do this one horizontal. Pop it. I think just the two of us is a good final boss battle music. All the best for my upcoming arts. Thank you so much, Urta Pargadhi. Really appreciate you for tuning in. Just to give a compliment, that's absolutely wonderful. Is it interactive? Divine Gypsy, what's going on? Hey, Divine Gypsy, you know, now is a good time to be interactive. So since you came back, how can this be interactive to you? What is going on? What is an idea in your mind? What is an idea that you have in your mind? As I start my sketch for my next piece, I might possibly incorporate something that amuses you, that entertains you. But yes, I am often and regularly interactive. Although, you know, it's interesting because I live stream on YouTube, and my YouTube for some reason is way more interactive. Interactive in the sense that, like, I need people to interact with. So much more people on YouTube are like open to like just chatting, whereas on TikTok, I don't know. I kind of struggle with TikTok, with staying consistent with TikTok, because like TikTok just is like an interesting platform that I haven't quite like grasped how to fully engage with yet. So you can picture gates slamming shut in a time with the intro as the boss appears and you want to spend. Huh. Okay. So Gypsy, welcome. Divine Gypsy, this is your second visit, so I do want to say hello. Thanks for being here. I missed your previous comments. But we're about to start a new painting. Hey Gypsy, why don't you pick a color? I don't know if you're here. Pick a color and that will be the base, other than green. A color other than green is what I'm looking for, and that will be the base of what I decide to work with. If you're still here. If you're not here, I'll just pick my own color. Ugh. I might go with red. I like the idea of red, since you're not saying anything. I am going with red. Let's do it. Let's make this one with red. So, got red here. I already got red paint here. I'm going to loosen up the paint so that it could be more sketchy, and I want it to be more see-through. I want it to be more see-through rather than see-through rather than what's the other word? Translucent, opaque. I want it to be more opaque. So let's start like this. And here we go. So popping this down. I just want to make sure that the proportions are right. The top of the head, right around there. There, about 2/3. So this needs to be about, huh. Let's see. Yeah, I think this needs to be a bit bigger. Measuring with my thumb. So right about there. Wow, why is the... Maybe I'm not measuring right. So this needs to be much bigger, but for whatever reason, just creating some illusion. And let's see, the ear would be about right here. Let me measure the horizontal and the vertical distance here. So right about there. And then, let's see. Yeah, so this is almost going to be pretty much a square. So whatever this length is needs to be about the same length as this length. Let me go like this, right around here, right around there. That needs to be where it ends. Let's go. Painting in shadows right here. So the eye is going to come right down at about this corner. So wherever this corner is, and then come across from this angle, the ear goes right around here. Actually bring this ear down a little bit. carve out this section here. You can see right here that this needs to come forward a bit. And let's do this. So something right here, this eyebrow. Let's go carve over here. Come right down there. Bring that down. Bring this down a bit. I think this nose is a bit too small. I don't know why I laughed at that. So here we go. Sketching out the overall design here of what the face is going to appear like. So, oh, that's a lot of paint, but that's okay. That's what we're doing. We're painting, right? So paint is okay. Paint is acceptable to get onto your drawing. There's something about this. All right, here we go. That's what's going on. Bigger chin. Let's see, right here we're going to have a triangle. And here we go. So we're going to go down. Be behind the eye, which is fine. Okay, so this part of the neck probably just needs to be smaller, so we're going to go bring this up a bit here. And let's see, so we're going to go up and around. It's going to go up. And let's see around the neck here. We're going to carve out a little space right here. Let's get some of the hair texture. Okay, the hair's right here. That's okay. So, Gramp. What's going on, Gramp? How you doing? Thanks for, I don't know if you're still here. You're probably gone by now. But, hey, thanks for being part of the live stream the other day. I know I didn't get to chat with you, but definitely great to connect. And here we go. So let's just go ahead and keep on with this red. And let's just go ahead and get right into some of the dark spaces. Start to separate some of the parts here. And this is a darker area. So there's just to paint out the initial look of everything. Just so you so I can get a better feel of like how this is going to end up. These are really just getting into shadows and things like that. Just a quick old sketcheroo. Give us the feel of what we're going to be aiming for here. We'll tighten those up as we go. But let's see, pretty much got the majority of the shadows. Actually, let's add a bit more into here. Round this face out a bit. And here we go. What's up, Johnny? I don't actually interact with my random live invites on this stream. Just FYI, so but we'll interact if someone catches my attention. Just for now. Especially when I'm in the sketching phases of a painting. Okay. Gotta give this a more distinct neck. Now see, this neck feels a bit too big, so we're gonna go push this up and bring the shoulder. We're gonna exaggerate the shoulder a bit more. Now the neck feels too short. Oh, we'll figure that out as we go. But let's do our next piece. We're going to add a couple pieces here. Think about how I'm gonna do this next one, because what I want to do is I want to be able to have space for one more part. But if I paint too big, I'm not gonna have that space. Just do this. Get started. The best thing to do if you're feeling intimidated by a piece is just get started. Now, obviously, if you're doing some type of architecture or something, you know, you want to do some more planning, but okay, so this is going to be like that. I'm going to go down a bit. This is a really complex piece right here. And let's keep going like this. We're going to go up and over. Should be the same length from the front of the nose to there. Right about there. And again, double that length. Pretty much the same angle. Right there. That's where we get to the eyes. And double that again. So let me think. This is going to be about right to the nose. There we go. That's about right. And then it's going to cut across basically right above the teeth. Oh, right above the teeth. Should be in line with this tooth line here. So here we go. It's going to basically come across like so. It's going to end right under the eyes. I feel like this back area is a bit too long. So what I got to do is I got to bring this in. Up, down, over, around. here we go. So we're gonna go right here. Probably needs to be a little bit lower, so I'm going to bring this down, bring it over, bring it up, down, lower. Let's go like this. We're gonna keep going, pushing this, continued. So I use that word a lot, but pushing this. We're pushing this. Let's keep pushing it. So here we go. I'm gonna pop this down. Who can guess what this is gonna be? So we're gonna go up, and we're gonna go around here. Just gonna go to this halfway point. This point right here is gonna come a little bit past it. And here we go. So this, let's figure this out. So this eye is going to come around and needs to create a triangle. So we're going to go start creating some of the shapes here. Okay, let's go down into here. We'll go across like so. Got these shadows in here. Create a bit of a mouth on this one. Actually, let's figure out the rest of the sketch before we continue to add more detail. Otherwise, come right under the eye. right about there. And here we go. So boom, boom. 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 Bring this down a tiny bit. Draw it out a bit. Bring this down a bit more. Bring it out. And here we go. So continuing on this other side here. Need to elongate this one. And here we go. So we're almost done with this sketch. And what we're going to do, just add a couple more details here. And then we're going to have the other side come out like so. And then, actually before I shade this part, I should continue on and add some of the finishing details here. This is a very detailed piece. And going in, making sure that we get some of the shadows around here. Okay, let's finalize this eye. Okay, we've got our horse. So those of you that guessed that it was going to be a horse, good job. Obviously, it's going to look quite different once we start to paint it. But let's go ahead and go in and just add some of the shadow details so we can kind of have something to work with, some more to work with. And again, and I don't know why I said again, I'm not actually repeating myself right now, but this is just staying pretty loose with this part. Sketch it all out. Now just creating this separation of some of the shadows, some of the lighter and darker shadows here, and that's it. Once we get that done, we'll be smooth sailing to go. Just gonna grab some of this. And just by adding these dramatic shadows, you can start to really see form quite easy. And of course I'm using like a really bright red for this. But you can use any color, basically. Like, you use pretty much any color that you would actually like. Like, I could use green, I can use blue, I can use purple, pink, whatever. And all you really need to do is just know what areas need to be in the shadow, so you kind of like really just, for lack of a better term, saturate that area that's going to be shadowed. And let's see, so this area right there, got a little bit of right there. And as we go into this, we'll totally start to make sure that everything looks just dandy. This needs to be around like that. Oh, and this actually needs some shadow right like that. Down. And here we go. We got an animal, people. An animal. A beautiful horse. Anybody? Does anybody sign a horse? Chinese zodiac sign a horse? Actually, this needs to extend a little bit further. Exaggerate the muscles on this horse's face here. And you know what? Let's do another head. We're going to add another head to this. Trying to think of the best way to kind of organize all this. So I'm going to be putting a bunch of heads on here. Okay. And then, you know what, people? I think it's time to take a break for me. Definitely think it's time to take a break right now. Otherwise, it's going to get a bit chaotic in this head. Bit too chaotic, more than I really want. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a break on this painting. And we will probably be back in a day or two. Knocked out a few hours of painting, so I'm happy with that. And hopefully we could be back within... Might not be able to even paint for a couple of days. Uh-oh. Hope I can. I guess you gotta prioritize your time. Closing up some of my supplies right now. And here we go. So fortunately, my previous painting that I haven't finished yet, I can actually just lay it on top because I don't care if some of this paint right now gets off. And gets onto our other surface. It's not going to ruin anything. So with that, I just want to say everybody that tuned in, thanks. But we're going to call this one wrapping up today for now. TikTok, goodbye. And YouTube, goodbye.